These 4 opinions could get you banned from Reddit finance forums. There's a lot of financial advice out there that's treated as absolute truth. Build an emergency fund, buy a house, max out your retirement account, avoid all debt, retire early or die trying. But what if some of that advice doesn't fit everyone? Here's the thing. Personal finance is just that, personal. And sometimes doing what's right on paper isn't actually the best move for you. Today we're going through 5 controversial money takes that challenge the norm. These aren't reckless ideas, they're just the kind of opinions that get downvoted hard by people who never stopped to question the rules. Let's start with the first one. 1. Why emergency funds may be overrated. Everyone says you need an emergency fund. They often suggest keeping 3 to 6 months of your expenses in a savings account just in case. It sounds responsible to many people. But here's the unpopular opinion. Emergency funds are a waste of investment, especially if you already have access to credit, income stability, or alternative safety nets. Think about it. That money is just sitting there, earning maybe 1 to 2% interest, while inflation quietly eats away at its value. Meanwhile, that same cash could be working harder in a high-yield investment, your business, or even be used to pay down your debt. For people with access to a credit line, a stable job, or family support, parking thousands in cash might not be the smartest move. You could hold a small emergency fund, maybe 1 month's worth, and put the rest where it grows. Now, this isn't about being reckless. It's about understanding your own risk tolerance, your backup plans, and your cash flow. The point is, the emergency fund isn't a law, it's a tool. And like any tool, its usefulness depends on the situation. 2. Why renting can be smarter than buying. Owning a home is considered the ultimate financial milestone, a sign you've made it. But what if renting is actually the smarter move? Here's the truth. Buying a house isn't always the best financial decision, especially in today's economy. Between inflated home prices, high interest rates, closing costs, maintenance, and property taxes, owning can become a money pit, not a wealth builder. Renting, on the other hand, offers flexibility. No long-term commitment, no surprise repair bills. And in many markets, the monthly rent is actually cheaper than a mortgage payment, especially when you factor in all the hidden costs of ownership. Plus, renters can invest the difference. If you're renting for $1,500 instead of paying a $2,200 mortgage, and you invest that extra $700 monthly, the long-term growth can outpace the home equity you'd build. Buying makes sense when you are stable, settled, and ready for long-term roots. But if your career's still moving, your family situation isn't fixed, or you want location freedom, renting gives you options. Ownership isn't always the win Reddit makes it out to be. Now let's discuss another controversial take. 3. Not everyone should max their 401k. In personal finance circles, one mantra comes up again and again. Always max out your 401k. But here's the truth. That advice isn't for everyone. Sure, 401ks offer tax advantages and employer matches, which are undeniably great. But locking away large chunks of your income until age 59 can actually limit your flexibility, especially if you're trying to build something right now. For younger people with lower incomes, that money might be better used for paying off high interest debt, building an emergency buffer, or investing in a taxable brokerage account where you have more control and easier access. Or if the investment options in your 401k are limited or high fee. In those cases, forcing yourself to max it out just because it's what you're supposed to do might not be the optimal move. The better question is, what are your goals in the next 5 to 10 years? If early retirement isn't even on your radar, tying up too much in a retirement account might slow you down more than help you. 4. Debt isn't always bad. Say the word debt and watch the panic set in. In online finance spaces, debt is often treated like a moral failure, something to eliminate at all costs. But here's the contrarian take. Not all debt is bad. There's a big difference between toxic debt and strategic debt. High interest credit card debt you can't pay off, yes, that's dangerous. But a debt used intentionally, that can be a powerful tool. Think of a loan that helps you buy a house or even get quality education, eventually landing you a high-paying job. Even business loans or 0% financing on essentials, if used wisely, can help you build without draining your cash. The key is control. If you're leveraging debt to grow your assets, free up liquidity, or smooth out short-term gaps, and you have a plan to pay it off, that's not financial failure. That's a financial strategy. Wealthy people do this all the time. They borrow against their assets to invest or expand. Their goal isn't to have no debt at all, it's to have smart debt. Moving on to our final controversial take, 5. FIRE isn't for everyone. FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, has exploded online. The idea of saving aggressively, investing fast, and retiring in your 30s or 40s sounds like the dream. But here's the truth that rarely gets mentioned. FIRE isn't for everyone. First, the math is brutal. Saving 50 to 70% of your income means extreme abstinence. This often leads to sacrificing lifestyle, travel, hobbies, and flexibility during your prime years. For people with dependents, student loans, or lower incomes, it's simply unrealistic. Second, early retirement isn't always what it seems. A lot of people who retire early end up working again. They just shift into passion projects or part-time gigs, and that's fine. But it raises a question. If you're going to keep working, do you really need to retire early or just find better work? The FIRE dream often overlooks what people actually want. Freedom, not just a dollar figure. You can work toward financial independence without chasing an extreme lifestyle. It's okay to take your time. There's no shame in choosing balance over burnout. This is how it starts, one smart move at a time. Not every money opinion needs to be popular to be valuable. Sometimes questioning the rules is exactly how you find what works best for you. Maybe you don't need a giant emergency fund. Maybe renting makes more sense right now. Maybe you don't need to max your retirement account this year. Personal finance isn't about winning internet points. It's about designing a life that fits your reality. Hit the next video and keep building the life you deserve. Take care, my friend.